How are electric cars doing at the San Francisco Auto Show that started today? I was there actually last night for a preview. Yes, I got in my Chevy Volt and I drove from one part of California with a bad air quality to another part of California with a bad air quality. But I got to see a preview. This is basically where they put, some of the media and the VIPs, and give them a preview, which is essentially it's the auto show, except for there's only like 200 people walking around instead of 200,000 people walking around. So that was fun. But what I was concentrating on, and by the way, I did the live feed from there as I was walking around, so you can check that out. But I was looking out for, well, how electric cars are presented there. Are they somewhere like in the corner, in the dark corner? Is the staff excited about it? You know, when I approached the staff, I didn't tell them I'm with the media, right? Or I'm an electric car fan. And I was actually surprised by what I found out when I talked to some of them about the electric cars. I'm going to share all of this with you coming up next.
Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4 Electric!
Welcome to E4 Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If anything, you know it's unbiased when you saw the video earlier this morning, of course. But if this is your first time here, go ahead and click on the subscribe button so you don't miss anything moving forward. All right, let's talk about the San Francisco Auto Show. It's not the biggest one. I'm going to LA, the LA Auto Show on Monday for also preview and media events and unveilings. It's going to be much bigger in terms of the new, especially electric car unveilings. I'll definitely live stream a couple times a day for sure for the entire week. So make sure to subscribe just for that. But this was a smaller one, but nevertheless, San Francisco, it was in Moscone Center. And just like I said, this was just basically a preview. The show started today, so if you're in the area, check it out for sure. All right, so let's start with the Audi booth because, as you know, I'm excited about Audi e-tron, and I wanted to see if they even had one, and they did, and it was kind of up there. It was not at all in the corner. It had its own actual platform. As you can see, the ones around it do not have that one. You probably see a little bit of a change there. Instead of the little cameras on the sides, they now have the actual mirrors there. And I thought maybe they just swap it out like Tesla did, right? But actually, no, this is the car that's made for the US because they did not have the inside monitors for the feed from the cameras. And I approached Audi staff there, and I wanted to, I was like, well, what do you think? It's an electric car. And they're like, no, we're really excited about this. This is exactly what we're, going towards. And this is a, four-wheel drive. And I mean, they were really excited. So I spent some time with them. And then I told them that, oh, actually, I'm a fan myself. So that was good to hear. And this was basically my theme. I was kind of trying to figure out what is the actual, what are the salespeople and reps from those brands actually think about electric cars in their family, and this was a good surprise. Then I moved to a Jaguar booth, and again the Jaguar, which looks orange, they assured me was red, but the lights were weird, so I believe them that it just looked orange under that light. Also was kind of front and center, and they actually probably had the biggest crowd around this car. I don't know if it's because of the color, but yeah, and so I spent some time with their rep, and I told her that originally I actually thought about getting this car, and then I kind of saw what it looks like inside, and I kind of backed out of it, and with the tech not being as good as we promised. And she was actually like, wait a second, let me take notes, because they want us to take notes as we get feedback from customers. So I thought it was really good. Kudos to Jaguar. Now, this is the first time I sat inside of one. Every single YouTuber and their mom has always had already had some sort of a media event that they were invited to where they got to test drive it. I'm literally the last person who's interested in driving one that actually was even inside. So yeah, Jaguar offered me this car for like a week, and then they completely forgot about it. Whatever. Anyway, so I was inside. I kind of confirmed that yes, the luxury feel that I kind of expected from the Jaguar is just not all the way there. The monitor is a little too small for my taste, and the wheel is just like, I saw it on the pictures, but when I sat in there, the wheel is almost like a sports car wheel. And this is SUV. This is a luxury SUV. I kind of want a bigger wheel, and that really kind of bugged me, and it just didn't look like a luxurious car. Anyway, so that's my opinion. But anyway, it was good to see it in person. It does look gorgeous. I absolutely love the way it looks out on the outside. The door handles pop out. Hopefully, it doesn't have the same issue that Model 3 is having right now with the cold weather kind of being stuck in there. But they are, I think, they're more plastic than metal. So we'll see what happens there. So that was really cool. Now, what about Tesla? Was Tesla there? Let me tell you in a second. If they were, yet they weren't. Very interesting, and I'm kind of interested in knowing what you guys think about this. Before that, I want to, of course, mention that the show and this channel is sponsored by Evanex, the aftermarket accessories for Teslas. There is a discount code in the description of this video, and as a matter of fact, I think they already started their Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, so check out their website and find yourself a good deal. All right, what about Tesla? All right, so I gotta tell you, so I took this picture. As you can see, were all models represented there, including the two first generation Roadsters. Beautiful color, actually. But I snapped this picture literally 5 minutes before leaving, and I was one of the last people out. Like literally, I was leaving, and even like waiters were like, "What are you doing here?" Still, but apparently Tesla is not represented there as far as Tesla Motors is concerned, right? This is I probably shouldn't name his name, but he's one of the people who runs one of the clubs, Tesla clubs. He was on my show, actually, one of the first guests on the show. Him and a few other private owners of these cars just basically got together and put this display together, and they will be there to answer questions and so forth. So I'm a little bit puzzled. You know, granted, the demand for Teslas are really high right now, and they may not necessarily need to drum up the business. But don't forget, these shows are sort of kind of a long game type of the marketing strategy for these brands, right? They want the kids to see these cars, right? Because the kids will essentially participate in decision making what kind of car they want to have, right? Because they do influence adults a lot, and also they kind of want teenagers there, because teenagers will be drivers in the next few years, and at some point after they finish college, these are the cars that are going to be buying even before that. So I think it's a mistake for Tesla or any manufacturer to kind of skip an auto show, especially in San Francisco Bay Area. Obviously, this is the best, they would be the best reception they could probably hope for. And I'm not really sure if it's really that expensive. I mean, all manufacturers have done it. I couldn't find Kia though, so I'm not really sure if they are there. Maybe I just kind of overlooked them. But yeah, let me know in the comment section if you guys think it's, you know, for Tesla if it's a mistake for Tesla not to be there. But obviously, it tells you a lot about the following that's still very, very strong, where people are willing to take their cars and, you know, spend time displaying it on their own time. So the brand that they love is represented. So kudos to them, and kudos to Tesla to obviously having such an amazing fan club. Not always kind to me in the comment section, but nevertheless, kudos. All right, let's move on to okay. So by the way, Nissan Leaf was definitely there again. Not in the corner. They're very proud of it. I had another good conversation with a salesperson. They're saying, yeah, people are very excited about the new look and about new battery. Now, I did have to educate him a little bit about the fact that the battery is still sort of the old kind, and it's only starting next year, 2019. The Nissan Leafs that will have the LG cam and the thermal management system. But all right, I'll give him a pass on that. He was excited about it, and that's all I wanted to hear, really. Hyundai. Now, Hyundai was all out there. There were 3 Hyundai Konas. This is the first time I've actually seen one or sat inside of one. There's one, there is 2, and I was also inside of one. Now, if you guys haven't seen the video that I posted in the beginning of the week, definitely check it out. It's one of my Patreons and followers, viewers, Evie Patty. He bought one already in Norway. This is the only place you can buy a thing. Is Norway and Korea right now. And he did an in-person review for all of us. It's really cool and he's driving it now, so he really kind of knows all of the details. So check it out. But kudos to Hyundai, you know, representing. And guess what? They even had this little guy. Remember this one? This is a Hyundai Ioniq. You might not recognize it because you don't see them on the streets. They don't really sell them that many. Kind of a failure of marketing and production, but people who do have them really like the car. I looked inside, decent looking car. It's also the first time I see it. But yeah, no, kudos to Hyundai for representing and having it up front and having so many electric cars there in relatively good numbers. There were a few other shots I've taken, but I don't want to bore you guys with that. overall, my take on it is this: electric cars are there, and they're blending in. No one's the brands are not necessarily saying, "Hey, this is the future." But they're saying, hey, we're making them now. It's one of your options. And I think it's definitely a step forward. Let me know if you guys go to like shows like this. Let me know if you're seeing the difference this year as far as the representation of electric cars. Now, I know that Volvo is going to pull a big stunt on LA Auto Show where they will display no cars. They will literally have a display and say, this is not a car or something like that, because they want to say that there's a bigger things that are coming from Volvo, and they just don't have them yet, but it is coming, and they rather wanted to talk about the exciting technology that they're working on. Not the best of the stunts, but nevertheless, if they are going to talk about how they're going to be electrifying their fleet, and that's why the cars that they have right now may not be as relevant to the future, I'm all for it. I think this would be great. Let me know what you think about it. I'll definitely be there at the display and probably live stream, so I'll definitely have a more opinion about it and more information for you next week. All right, let me say a huge thank you to my new Patreon, Simon Pierre, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name because I know I'm going to screw it up, so I don't want to do that. Thank you so much for becoming a new Patreon. Obviously, you're supporting a YouTuber, independent YouTuber like myself. Really appreciate it. You're part of my Patreon community where you get a bunch of different perks, including, you know, the highest tier, watching me live, and an extra segment that I call the Extra Mile. So all right, guys, well, I'm looking forward to your comments, of course, as usual. Maybe not this morning from that video, but most of the time. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.